Welcome back to another episode of Highest Timeline for Earth. Today is Thursday, October 24th. And I just need to speak to this Pluto energy because I had a big realization yesterday that Pluto had just been in Capricorn since 2008. So for the last 17 years, Pluto has been in Capricorn. And then it's getting ready to move into Aquarius. It briefly went into Aquarius and then went back into Capricorn, which we're in right now for the final time. And it's almost like this purging of the last 17 years coming up to the surface. I know for me, and I made a video about this on TikTok, and a lot of my followers said the same thing that like so much heaviness and shadows and like reckonings from the last 17 years has been bubbling up to the surface, especially since the eclipse season we've had since September. So, like, really, like the last 2 months, it's just so much heaviness. I have personally been crying my eyes out, and I've also revisited my memoir that I've been writing for a few years. And it feels like I'm finally fully wrapping up my memoir. I'm going to complete my memoir. Now, my goal is to have it absolutely 100% completed and self-published by the end of this Scorpio season, exactly when Pluto officially moves into Aquarius, where it will stay for the next 20 years. So it feels like I have to finish my memoir to officially wrap up this 16-year cycle and fully integrate and understand the lessons and understand what it means for me and what it means for the world, which is wrapped up in my memoir. And then I can officially move on with this new cycle of my life with this new energy of Pluto in Aquarius. So, Pluto in Capricorn, for me personally, and on a societal level, it was a shakeup of our values. It was a heavy emphasis on self-worth and career, making money, feeling fulfilled in your job and how you work and how you carve out a path for yourself in life and how you relate to others. And for me, Capricorn's in my third house of communication. So finding, you know, there's a reason why I'm a writer and why I'm a speaker, because I do take all of my internal world and put it out literally in my books and in my written word. And I'm just trying to speak my experiences as they're occurring for me, speak to these energetic shifts internally and externally, speak to these archetypes that I'm experiencing and these cosmic and elemental energies. There's a reason why I'm a writer, and I see that this has a lot to do with Capricorn. And then on a collective level, Pluto and Capricorn was, all this importance on worth and appearances and smoke and mirrors, like putting on a show, caring more about how you're being perceived, about getting ahead personally, like for yourself. It's this emphasis on greed and just money and profit. And now that we're shifting into Aquarius, the energy could not be more different. It's this focus on collective rising and an emphasis on purpose rather than greed, an emphasis on spirituality and oneness and unity and harmony in Mother Nature and innovation and technology and the quantum financial system and quantum healing and working towards the betterment of humanity and for her people, working for others, being of service to others as opposed to service of self. So we have this big, big, big shakeup coming. And I think that I personally had to go through the ringer to understand all of the ways that I was trying to force myself into society. That was my Pluto in Capricorn. That's why I was so miserable and angry. I just could never see a way forward in the world for myself because I was disgusted and repulsed by the state of the world, by the systems. I could see through the smoke and mirrors. I could see these evil puppeteers pulling the strings and see all the conditioning and see these expectations put on me by my family and by my community and see what everyone else my age was doing, how you had to work your butt off, work at a job you hate, make all these compromises just to make money, just so that you can afford like one or two vacations a year, just so you can buy a house. and get loans and get a mortgage. Like that was never for me. I never could see that path for myself. And I tried to just lean into my gifts, which was people. I can always connect with people. I've always had the gift of seeing the real people, seeing the real you, like seeing right through into your very core, connecting with every single person that I meet, having the gift of eloquence and very, very confident and comfortable with everyone that I speak to. So naturally, I fell into sales. My father's been in sales his whole professional career. Him and I are very similar personality wise. We're very outgoing. We love people. We love talking with people. We love connecting with people. So, anyway, I naturally fell into sales because I was trying to like force myself to fit into this box. And I worked myself to the bone. I had burnout at age 25 because I was using my sheer force of willpower to work in all of the wrong ways. I became so disillusioned and disgusted and jaded by the world. So then I fell into reckless behavior. I went on the run. I just wanted to pursue a life of reckless abandon, adventure, and to pursue my inner callings. It led me on a trip all around the world. I went to Southeast Asia by myself. I was out there for 8 months. I found a beautiful community. I was teaching English out there in Thailand and in Cambodia. I had like lifelong friends out there, but I was getting drunk every day, getting into wild, reckless behavior because I was just trying to fill this empty void that I had within. Then I came back. I was living in New York City. I was so reckless, trying to like find a way for myself that was never gonna happen. I had to realize that I have to carve out a path for myself that's truly in alignment with my soul. And I had to have all of these crazy experiences. I had to fail and try and fail and try. I had to gain all of this wisdom. And that ultimately led to my massive spiritual awakening, Kundalini awakening that I had at age 25, where then I started to heal, learned about ancient civilizations and ancient systems and teachings. I started to read philosophy and metaphysical books and psychology and, alternative history. I started to get into the chakra system and yoga, and I started to dance again. And I just started to heal and understand myself at this really deep level. I found numerology, I got into astrology, I got into tarot so I could understand the archetypes. I found human design, I found the I Ching, I found the gene keys, everything that is a part of my foundations now that I am a teacher of now. Everything had to unfold this way. I had to have a very rough time trying to force myself to fit into society, like very like Pluto and Capricorn energy, so that I could find the inner pathway, find my spiritual awakening, find that energetic alignment, find my natural flow, which is very much Pluto and Aquarius energy. It's finding that flow within. It's being that sacred rebel and choosing your own path rather than trying to find a path for yourself that everyone else is doing or that someone else forged. No, it's forging your own path, mastering your own self, knowing thyself, mastering thyself, so that you can unleash your true gifts and genius onto the world to be of service to humanity and help others. Because we are all these puzzle pieces. We come together as these beautiful puzzle pieces if we would just tune in and find our authentic, true voice and true self. So, the Pluto and Capricorn energy for me, it was this illumination of societal values that I strongly disagreed with, this society and this world that I could not fathom fitting myself into, trying to fit myself into and failing, finding my true self, embarking on these journeys back home to myself, finding my true voice as a teacher, as a healer, as a priestess, as an energy activator and leaning all the way into my true nature, which there was a lot of shame around that because it's unlike anything anyone in my family has ever done. And there was a lot of like being made fun of for that and people thinking I was a wacko and crazy and me having to get over that and just not care what anyone thinks and keep following my own path, my own inner calling and owning who I am, which I finally have come full circle to, is owning who I am, not giving a shit what anyone thinks or what anyone says, forgiving myself for the past, for the decisions that I made when I was just lost trying to find my way, and coming to peace with these mistakes or regrets that weigh really heavy on my heart and my mind, making peace with the past, seeing everything how it's unfolding for a higher purpose, for this, like, everything was unfolding for a hidden higher purpose, for a higher meaning. And I had to get exactly where I am now, because now everything that I have learned and all the wisdom I have gained has set me up to really move into this Pluto and Aquarius, like, ready to go, like, fully stacked. Like, I'm fully stacked. My foundation is solid. My shit is built. And the last 2 years, I have been doing, like, this slow build. And this is what I'm all coming to terms with now. I have to make peace with where I'm at, because I see that everything had to unfold this way. So now, to get personal, um, our baby just turned 1. I'm in Vancouver, BC, where my husband's from. I've lived here for 2.5 years. And while I love our community and I love many aspects of living here, I can't help but feel like I shouldn't be here. Like, I should be somewhere else. I love the sun. I love the beach. I thrived in LA because that's where my astrocartography sun line is. Like, my sun self goes right through LA. Like, I've never felt more like myself while I was there. And that's why I met my husband in LA, because I was shining as my most authentic and vibrant self, and so was he. So we were an energetic match. But we were also an energetic match for these deep shadows that we still had to work out through each other, because in human design, I'm a manifester and he's a reflector. And all of this old stuff that I was still running from and hiding from, I can't run or hide from it with him. Like, he reflects it right back at me. And him and I were destined to have this really transformational, intense journey together, because it's ultimately bringing us to our higher selves. Because if I would continue off on a path on my own, like how I have my entire life, I was extremely hyper independent and I could just run away and go anywhere by myself, start over, start fresh, keep doing everything by myself. It wasn't going to bring me to my ultimate highest self, which I will find through relationships and through community and through connection and through family. Life is easier. Life was a lot easier when I was by myself, but I wasn't blossoming and flourishing into my most successful, abundant, mature self. I needed to meet my match, who forces me to level up by reflecting back at me everything that's been keeping me down and keeping me limited and keeping me emotionally immature and irresponsible and weak. And so, I have to make peace with where I'm at, because whenever it, like, rains in Vancouver and I hate it here, and I remember that I used to live in sunny LA, and then I start to regret and feel angry and upset with myself for leaving behind the beautiful life that I built for myself in LA to chase this wild love and to give up my independence. Like, I did a complete 180. I was so hyper independent. And then I met Nathan and I gave it all up. And then I became reliant on a man for the first time in my life. I became codependent. And then I followed him to Vancouver, where he's from, where his world is. And I immersed myself into his world, which I've never done in my life. And, then I was pregnant and we got married here and I had our precious baby here. And luckily, I'm a permanent resident now of Canada and I get paid monthly child benefit money for our daughter, which is keeping me afloat to pay my bills and to take care of our daughter, so that I can be a full-time mom and I don't have to get a job and leave my baby behind, or leave my baby in the hands of someone raising her. I want to raise her. We want to raise her. And that wouldn't have been the case if we had had her in the States. I would have had to get a job. I would have had to go back to work and I wouldn't be able to be a full-time devotional mother. So everything had to unfold this way. I have to be here in Vancouver right now. I have to be experiencing this right now. But I'm feeling so much resistance lately because I miss my family and my friends so much. And when it rains, or if I'm feeling like particularly lonely here in Vancouver, it's hard for me not to feel like I made mistakes and like regretting running so far away from home. When now that I have my baby and I have inner peace and I'm on, the track of fulfilling my purpose, all I want to do is be around my friends and family. Which, if you've listened to my podcast before, you've heard me bring this up, is like the astrology this last year has just been like smacking me in the face with these realizations of, oh my gosh, I was really like, I thought I was living this life of adventure, which I was, but I was also on the same hand, like running away and chasing this inner hunger that I had, like this empty void in my heart, just trying to fill it up with wild experiences. And then I filled up that inner void with the love of implosion that I had when I became a mother. I finally felt peace for the first time in my life. And now that I have peace, I'm like, oh my God, now I just want to like relax and be with my friends and family and like work and build my business and my empire around my friends and family. But I have to like radically accept that I am where I'm at right now for a powerful reason. If anything would have happened any other way, then I would not have our baby. I would not have Eris. And I would not have this time and space to focus on my creativity, my divinely inspired urges and inspiration, and build my empire, build my spiritual business to help and reach millions of people, which I know is my calling. That's my destiny. I am a spiritual leader and I am here to help millions of people. And I wouldn't be able to focus on this if I was not in Canada right now. So, making peace with the past, radically accepting everything that has brought me here, all of the decisions I made from an empowered place and from a disempowered place, from my lights, from my gifts, and from my shadows, leading me all here right now. And the only thing I can do is try my damnness to be successful and to regain my independence again, which I've been focusing on. And this has been the astrology theme for the last 18 months. The nodes of fate have been on Aries and Libra. Again, if you've listened to my podcast, you've heard me talk about this. The North Node is Aries, that's me, that's independence. And the South Node is Libra, that's we, that's interdependence, collective, family, collaboration, community. Finding this perfect balance and perfect harmony with the two. And ever since I gave up my independence to be with Nathan here in Vancouver, it's like the last 2 years I've been working and like trying so hard to gain it back, to gain back my financial independence, to gain back myself as a spiritual leader and to build my own business. Because right before I met Nathan, I did my 222 manifestations and I was calling in my husband. I was calling in the father of my children. I was ready for that. I was manifesting that I was going to meet someone and we were going to combine empires like king and queen and have our kingdom and be of great service to the world. But I forgot that I first had to build my own empire before I could combine empires. And so it's like I did get everything I ever wanted, but it's like it wasn't ready yet. So I had to go through these challenges and setbacks and have, healing is a circle. You're never just like, okay, I had my spiritual awakening and now I'm here. Like, no, I'm still in my like profound spiritual awakening that I've had for the last 6 years. It's like, it's a circle. Things are going to keep recurring because there is this pattern to the universe that's unfolding through us. And it's my job to play with these archetypes as they arise for me so that I can understand them and transmute the shadow aspect of these archetypes into the gifts and then integrate that into the highest expression and then be a mouthpiece for it. And that's where I share my voice and my written word so I can help other people harness these cosmic and elemental energies and archetypes to better their own life. And where was I going with this? The whole point is that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. If a lot of heavy emotions and feelings are coming up for you, take a look at what it means for your life for the last 16 years as you're wrapping up this cycle of Pluto in Capricorn. And now think about all of the wisdom and experiences that you have gained and how you can move forth wielding your fire sword into Pluto and Aquarius when now it really matters. It's like now get out of your own way and put your own personal dramas and hangups aside because it's all about working towards the betterment of community and towards family. And this is my favorite saying lately, like, we've got bigger fish to fry. Like, figure your own shit out because we need you. Like, you have a higher calling, you have a higher purpose. We need you to direct all of your energy towards helping the masses and not getting caught up in your own dramas. So make peace with the past, make peace with yourself, take the lessons gained, have so much compassion and love for yourself, and reprioritize and refocus because things are rapidly changing and you better keep up because the world's moving at a rapid rate and it's not going to slow down for you. You need to learn the new AI technology and use it to your advantage. Use it to make your life better, like work smarter, not harder. Keep learning. Learn the quantum financial system. Learn how to show up and unleash your gifts onto the world in ways that people really need. Like there's so many people that need exactly what you have to offer. Refine, refine, refine. Keep throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like I have no choice now but to be extremely successful because if I want to go back to LA and whenever it rains here in Vancouver in the winter, if I want us to go spend 4 months in LA where I can be creative again and work on my business out there and connect with our friends out there, I have to take care of that. I have to pay for that. I have to be able to do that for us because my husband, that's not his problem. Like he is keeping us good here. Like he is taking care of us here. That's his focus. He's working hard for our family here to have a nice, beautiful home for us in our nice, beautiful community here in Vancouver. Like he's working hard for that. That's his MO. But because I feel such like misalignment and I want to go somewhere else when it rains, like that's on me. I have no choice but to be extremely successful already. And I am successful. Like I am proud of how far I've come. I have so much gratitude for this beautiful community that I've built. And again, I have so much gratitude that I have this time and space to work on my creations. And I have so much gratitude for my husband for creating that space for me as well. And I just need to understand that it's for a bigger reason, that it's because I can and will help so many people. And that's where the success will come when I have so many avenues of revenue open because of all the people that I am connecting and meeting and, that are finding me. So I just need to continue to be a clear vessel and understand these energies as they arise for me and kind of like get out of my own way. And I need to just keep sharing. Like I'm a Scorpio rising. We're officially in Scorpio. And there is this part of me that has that wants to keep these innermost things about my life and about my struggles and my relationship to money and abundance and, all the things I failed at and all the things that I, have shame around. Like there's a big, big part of me that wants to keep that all to myself. And I kind of have to break through that. Like I just need to be straight up and honest about what I'm experiencing, which I try to do as much as possible. That's why I created this podcast. Just to be like, let it flow. Let my throat chakra just burst wide open. Just let it flow without holding back. But I do keep certain things. Certain things are sacred, like within my marriage, within my family, there are certain sacred things that I just will not share. And that's different. But if you are still listening, if you are a part of the community, if you're a part of this grander vision, then thank you for being here and thank you for showing up and thank you for being devoted to your highest calling and to living your best life because it's all about finding your flow state. It's all about flow state. Like when you're in flow state, the universe works through you in the most glorious, magnificent, loving, creative, abundant way. And the most successful people on earth have reached their flow state. Like I'm just picturing Mozart. Like he was in flow state. There's no way he came up with that. He was channeling the greatest symphonies from the universe and he just let it flow. Flow state. The most successful artists and creatives and writers entered their flow state. And that's because they found energetic harmony within. They removed their own energetic blockages and conditionings. They let their lower human self get out of the way so that they could let the divine symphonies of the universe work through them as an instrument to bring it into manifest physical form. That's what I'm striving to do. That's what I'm striving to teach. is how to get into flow state. And it looks different for every single person, which is why I had to learn all of these different tools and ancient wisdom. And I had to weave all of these things together so that I could help you know yourself so deeply so that you know exactly how to tune in and tap into your own flow state to reach your highest timeline, to live your most beautiful life without any resistance. That's my goal, and that's gonna be for the betterment of humanity and for Earth herself, helping you tap into flow state. And so here I am trying to tap into my own flow state. It's very meta. It's very meta. It's very cool. Very grateful for all of this. I'm very grateful to be here right now. I know that, so many people are suffering in the world. There's so much tragedy and injustice, and it makes my own problems seem so small. And I want to just keep reminding myself that every day that, you know, I have self-love and compassion, and I appreciate everything that brought me here, but there comes a point where it's like, okay, get on with it already. And that's what Pluto in Capricorn for the final time feels like. It's like, okay, get immersed in it one last time because get on with it already. Like we're moving on. We're entering a completely new reality, a new dimension. This Aquarius energy is a new dimension. It's divine. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. Everything's being exposed. The systems are breaking down. The people are calling for justice. We're going to see, movements rise all over the world. And we need to get out of our own way so we can fight for what's right and we can empower and inspire and uplift one another. It's all about our community. So hone your gifts. Whatever you learned from the last 16 years, you are honing your gifts, whether you are consciously aware of that or not. You've been honing your gifts, and now we unleash them onto the world. Like whatever you have got at this point, it's perfect. You're exactly where you need to be. So it's time to let it rip. Let it rip. The next 20 years are going to be ridiculous, like unrecognizable. It also corresponds with Pluto moving into Aquarius. Well, no, Pluto moving into Aquarius also corresponds to period 9 in Chinese metaphysics, which is represented by and favors women ages 35 to 55. We're going to see women rise all over the world. We're going to see this focus on enlightenment, illumination, prosperity, divine femininity, but mostly equality. This is the restoration of the divine feminine. It's equality. It is not a matriarchy or women over men. It's not hating men. It's not scolding men. No, it's perfect equality. Anything where like you see women saying like, this is our time, we're rising, we don't need men. That's the wounded feminine. There's no time or energy. There's no place for that in the new earth. It is true equality. And so we're striving to find that balance within so that you can find a perfect balanced union, which is the backbone of the family unit. And so we need to uplift our brothers and sisters. We need to be the best versions of ourselves so that we can unleash our gifts onto the world courageously, fearlessly, always being forward focused, always on the cutting edge, always just outside of our comfort zone. That's where the magic lies. So this is like a lot of these things that I record and put out there, they're outside of my comfort zone. Like I said, I like to be private about certain things, but it feels important for me to just share what I feel called to share, especially with, Capricorn being my third house of communication. And I'm like ruled by Pluto because Pluto's in my ascendant. I'm a Scorpio rising, and Pluto's in my first house. My very essence of my design was written that I will be here to be the phoenix, like have so many transformations over and over again, die and be reborn over and over again. And I have to just keep sharing those experiences. So sending so much love, so much love. This is such a powerful time. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And thank you for listening.